time, when I went to veterinary school, there was only 2 in the South. And from Tennessee, 15 people a year could go to vet school. And so you had to bring to the table some significant animal experience. And working with my uncle on the farm, and he was a VOAG teacher, vocational agriculture teacher, he taught me the importance of good husbandry, good stockmanship. You know, if you don't take care of your animals won't take care of you. So I learned that a little bit. And then in veterinary school, the first day we were there, we had an orientation by the gentleman who happened to be our anatomy professor, and he said there are only 3 service organizations: medicine, law, and theology. And veterinary medicine is a service, and so you need to provide service. So if you bring a client service mentality to working in a research facility in terms of the animals and work with them as clients, then you have a little bit different attitude, I think. And the other vets that were there at that time, there were 3 of us that went down there to the Illinois at the time. We'd all come out of an environment where service was important. And I learned about service not through medicine, but when I found out I would starve to death working for veterinarians while I was going to school, I went back to what I was doing before I worked for veterinarians, and I was driving a truck for a friend of the family's who's a Texaco jobber. And his idea was service. He didn't care whether you were dropping 9,500 gallons of gas or 50 gallons of fuel oil at some trailer. Everybody got service. And so I thought I learned a lot from that. But the thing that I learned about providing service, they were using dog models back then. It's an old standard surgical procedure, looking at trying to learn more about GI physiology. And so they put these cannulas in. And you may want to edit this out. They put these cannulas in, and they collect gastric fluid. And when I got there, they were doing this, and they were using these balloons to collect the gastric fluid, and they would break, and the acid would get on the dogs, and they get a little irritation, and things weren't going well. And so I started talking to the investigator, and there's 2 things that I happen to know about. One, because I changed enough diapers at that point in my life. I knew about zinc oxide. Prevents diaper rash if you put some of that around the cannula. And the other was that there's something that's a lot stronger than a balloon, and that's a prophylactic, because we sold a ton of those things as tires, batteries, and accessories to these filling stations. And so we changed over from using balloons to using prophylactics and and the study took off. And so all of a sudden I became the go-to guy at this huge institution for providing service and helping people with that. But it was all common sense. It was just nobody bothered to sit down and look at what the issues were. And a lot of that may have been they were just too busy. I mean, you know, when you've got thousands of animals, some of which coming in this condition some of them came into, sometimes it was just hard to stay on top of stuff. So that was a fun time, though. Everybody came to the guy with the prophylactics, and I was going, oh, God. So I made my life. No, never mind.